Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How are you all doing? It's our Europa League preview. It's Manchester United at Old Trafford against Zorya from the Ukraine. Not going to spend too much on them. In their whole history of being in the top Ukrainian league, they've never finished higher than 4th. If you can name 3 Ukrainian teams, you're better than me. So this should be a straightforward win, especially in England. Maybe when we go over there it might be slightly harder, but I'm expecting 3 points. The great thing about the first 2 Europa League games and the 2 against Fenerbahce, because we'll have Robin van Persie to watch, is that it's a Mickey Mouse tournament we don't want to be in, but actually it benefits us quite a lot at the moment to use the fringe players, and those fringe players are quite interesting. So my lineup against Zorya would be, I would play De Gea in goal. I think he'll play Romero. Fosu Mensah right back. I'd play Blind and Smalling as centre backs. Blind because he's just brilliant. Smalling because I think he needs more games. Left back I would put Rojo there. I don't think Luke Shaw's fit yet, and maybe keep Luke Shaw back for Stoke. My midfield 3, again, a lot of luxury that we can play in the midfield. I would be playing Michael Carrick, I would play Schneiderlin, and I would probably play as my number 10, I'd probably play Wayne Rooney. Now bear with me on this because I don't think he's a number 9. I think he's a worse number 9 than a number 10. So play him at number 10 with Carrick, who he gets on with, and Schneiderlin just to break up the play. I'll be happy with that midfield 3. And then this is where it gets really interesting, because I would play Mkhitaryan on the right, I would play Memphis on the left, and I would play Anthony Martial up front. I don't want anybody from Leicester really involved in this game in attacking sense. Keep them nice and fresh for the Stoke game. So no Pogba, no Zlatan, no Rashford. Let's use Mkhitaryan, Martial and Memphis as the front 3. Proving themselves, all of them, and what a front 3 that is. It's a relatively straightforward game for us to win. We should win it, like I say, relatively easy, and it's a great game for us to sit back and watch the likes of Rooney, Mkhitaryan, Martial, all players who in their own minds will think they're first team players, to go out and show us what they are capable of. So I'm looking forward to it, really looking forward to doing the watch along tomorrow. Don't get caught out, it's not a 6 o'clock kickoff, it's a 8:05, so we'll be live from about 7 o'clock with the team news. Do I think Jose will go with the team I've gone with? Probably not. He may well rest Blind and bring Rojo into the back 4, and he may well, I suspect, put Fellaini in there. But if you put Fellaini in there, maybe put Fellaini as a number 10, don't play Memphis. Put Martial on the left, put Rooney as a number 9, put Fellaini as a number 10 and have Schneiderlin and Carrick behind him. But I don't want to see Mata, I don't want to see Herrera. That would worry me if I saw those sort of players, because I think they were flawless in the game against Leicester. We're only 2.5 days away really from the Stoke game. Those players, if they're going to play in that game, should be kept back, kept fit. Anyone playing in this game against Zorya, realistically, bench at best against Stoke. So that's what the opportunity is. It is a game for the likes of Schneiderlin, like I say, Rooney, Mkhitaryan, Martial, even Memphis to get on, get some minutes. We will win this game. I don't know much about Zorya, but Manchester United should be moving them aside. And I think the great thing about this is, it's going to be really interesting to watch the likes of who starts, whether it is a Rooney or a Mkhitaryan, because at this level they should be eating up the ground and they should be proving it. And what we want from this game is maybe a 3 or 4-0 win, a couple of goals for Rooney, a couple of goals for Martial, brilliance from Mkhitaryan, the midfield domination, back 4 flawless, and you think, you know what, none of you were playing against Stoke on Sunday, but what options we've got off the bench. That's the next step for these players now. I don't think it's about whatever they do tomorrow night, they can get into the first team, because that first team beat the champions 4-1, were brilliant in the first half. None of those deserve to be dropped. So all this lot can hope for is to really just give Jose a bit of a nudge and say, look, I'm ready. If you know, next time things go wrong with the first team, I'm ready to come in. So that's what I'm expecting. I am looking forward to it. I don't really like the Europa League, you'll all know that, but it is good to get the fringe players some game time. It's a bit sad that we're not able to use much youth, but I would expect Fosu Mensah to come in at right back, and that's right. You know, Valencia probably does need a rest. Other than that, bench-wise, I wouldn't mind seeing Twansibi on there. It's not likely, but that would be nice to see him, the young centre-back. But other than that, I can't offer you much more. I think it will be a relatively straightforward game, but I think it's going to be made interesting, not necessarily by the opposition, but by how our players perform. I've said about Schneiderlin specifically, and he might not start tomorrow, to be honest. He might just play Carrick. I'm sure he'll play Fellaini, and he might chuck somebody else in the midfield who we haven't really, you know, you wouldn't really expect. I.e., he might put Rooney in there and put Martial up front. I wouldn't mind him doing that. But Schneiderlin is one of them players, he's not done horrifically bad this season. He's not done horrifically bad in his time at Manchester United. but he's not done enough. He's not pulling up trees. He really should be pulling up a tree and it's called Fellaini and throwing it away. But he's not been able to do that in the year and a bit he's been here. So I think Schneiderlin, big opportunity in this game for him. You know, 6 out of 10 like it was against Northampton, 7 at best. It's not good enough to get in the first team, so he needs to be playing really well. I expect Carrick to come in and just give us that control like he did against Northampton. And then it's opportunities for people like Mkhitaryan, Rooney, Martial, Memphis, like I said, to really shine under a no-pressure situation and force yourself onto the bench. We want that first team from last week to be the first team to go out and win us the game on Sunday. But what a great situation if we've got 1 or 2 from this game tomorrow night on our bench in form, thinking at least we can chuck them on at half an hour. You know, whether it's Martial, who I think long-term should be in the team, Mkhitaryan, again, long-term should be in the team, or whether Rooney thinks he can get back in long-term like some people he do. That's 3 players that are potential first-team players there. And if you look at our first team from Leicester for the Stoke game, you know, Lingard potentially coming out, but who else? Who else? So lots of competition is what we want. Join us on Thursday at 7 o'clock. We'll be live an hour before with the team news, that hour before the game, getting your thoughts, interacting on the watch along. Do join us for that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and get commenting below, because I think this game is a really interesting one on what your lineup would be. Very quickly, just to remind you, mine would be Romero or De Gea in goal, doesn't matter. Fosu Mensah right back, Luke Shaw left back, sorry, not Luke Shaw, Rojo left back, Blind and Smalling centre backs, because I think Smalling needs the game and Blind will give him some stability, and Carrick, Schneiderlin, Rooney would be my midfield. Rooney is number 10, Mkhitaryan on the right, Memphis on the left, Martial up front. I'd love to see that team. Get commenting below, give us your thoughts. Thanks for watching and see you on Thursday for the watch along at 7 o'clock.